Welcome to Screen Riot. This week's movie is Bill and Ted Face the Music, a comedy film from 2020. This episode will contain major spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's available to stream on Epix or to rent or buy on all the major streaming services. Go check it out and come back to the podcast because this is Screen Riot. So welcome back to another great episode of Screen Riot. I'm Justin, and I'm joined with co-hosts Eddie, Kyle, and John. And today we are taking a look at what some consider a film.
Just a film?
Just a film. Bill and Ted Face the Music from 2020.
Again, I tried to warn you. I said it.
Well,
please don't. Please, God, no.
This was my pick for a number of reasons. One, I wanted to pick an updated comedy just to see, and I wanted to pick something bad. I've never seen it before.
It's an updated comedy that seems old.
He keeps getting comedy, by the way, and just shitting on the genre. Being like, hey, let me spread eagle over the genre and just Bill and Ted's Face the Music.
It all started with Johnny Dangerously.
Yeah. Johnny Dangerously is another great example of a bad pick.
Are you? No, I'm sorry. I disagree, sir.
I disagree too.
Quality-wise, yes, but the funny was there.
I will say this: Johnny Dangerously was better than Bill and Ted's Face the Music.
Oh, yeah, by far.
Hands
down.
The
only question I have is, where is Bill and Ted's going to face? Is it going to land for me above or below Devil's Reign? That's the only question I have for myself in this movie.
Ooh, wow. I hope it's
the main reason I want to is to unseat Kyle with the worst movie. That's the main reason.
I don't think
anything I can do to stab him in the side.
I don't think it's as bad as Devil's Reign.
Okay, we're going to talk about it right now.
It's pretty freaking close.
We're going to have the conversation. Go ahead.
So, what is Bill and Ted Face the Music all about?
Good question. It's a rehashing of everything with a sprinkle of woke.
Pretty much.
No.
That's a good.
Oh no.
But I did write a synopsis.
Go ahead.
For those who like to listen to our review first,
before
they watch the movie.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say. Okay. So the ruler of the future tells two best friends, Bill Preston, played by Alex Winter, and Ted Logan, played by Keanu Reeves, that they must compose a new song to save all of humanity. Because of reasons.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yes.
Insert reason together.
Insert reason here.
Yeah.
To save all time and space.
I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. But instead of writing it, they decide to travel through time to steal it from their older selves. Meanwhile, their daughters devise their own musical scheme to help their fathers bring harmony to the universe. And then that's it.
And Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah, I still can't. I
have a theory.
Oh, you have a theory?
We'll get into it a little bit later here.
Go ahead.
So the film is 1 hour, 31 minutes long. It's rated PG-13, and it was directed by Dean Parisot. He might be French, so it might be Parisot. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say Parisot.
Okay.
So it's directed by him. One thing I want to mention real quick here. Does anybody recognize the name Sally Menke?
No.
I do not.
She was Quentin Tarantino's editor.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like throughout his entire career.
She edited this?
Well, no. She passed away in 2010.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Okay.
No. I just wanted to mention it because she was married to Dean Parisot, apparently. They were husband and wife. I had no idea.
Huh. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that Sally Menke was married to him. No, she had a famous death in Los Angeles, I believe. She went hiking with a friend. After about an hour, the friend said the heat was getting to her, so she left. And then the dean tried to get a hold of her like hours later and couldn't get a hold of her. They did like a whole search for her, found her like lying in a ravine.
Dang.
Her dog that was with her was like standing by the body.
Holy cow.
Kind of thing. Apparently like the heat got up to like 113 degrees Fahrenheit that day that they were hiking.
Yeah.
So they're not really sure what happened. The theory is that she passed out and fell down this cliff.
Heat exhaustion.
From heat exhaustion.
Damn.
That's really sad, yeah.
Yeah. So the director was married to Sally Menke, who was Quentin Tarantino's editor.
I'm going to say this, though. just because you're trying to pull at my heartstrings and everything.
I'm trying to bring levity to this.
Nope. Movie still sucks. Sorry, Dean. He also wrote Galaxy Quest, by the way.
That's what I was about to say. So this is where Dean Parasot. So he's done a lot of TV actually over the years. Some notables include Grace and Frankie, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Justified, Modern Family, Monk, ER, Reading Rainbow, actually. Some notable movies that he's done was Galaxy Quest from 1999.
Which is great.
Which is actually a pretty funny movie.
That's a funny-ass movie.
Yeah,
Alan Rickman carries me in that. Kills me in that.
By Akbar's hammer.
Yes.
That is.
I shall avenge thee.
That is a funny movie. Fun with Dick and Jane, 2005.
Which is another good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Red 2 from 2013.
Oh, yeah.
So like that action flick with...
I like the original one better,
Yeah.
I think.
Is that the one with Bruce Willis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like...
It's the one with all of them.
Yeah.
With all the actors.
That's right. It's like their version of The Expendables.
Right.
But
just like a
shittier.
comedy.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Not that The Expendables was like it's not a 10 on my list, just to be clear. I'm like shitting on all these movies,
Sure it
and I'm
is.
like The Expendables is the best movie ever. No, that's not the case.
Yeah.
No movie will ever be The Expendables. That's
We
my
have a
ruler.
contender.
That's my ruler right there.
Now we know why.
And Bill and
Scores
Ted, here we
are-
go.
I'm kidding. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I mean, this is typically the part of the show where I talk about like any Oscar nominations or wins for the movie.
I'm sorry.
Moving on.
It's too new. It's too new.
No, this
No?
movie. Yeah,
No.
No.
Nothing?
No,
Like a big fat goose egg?
we'll
Nothing?
just move on. Did you know
Oh God.
that the movie is in the Guinness Book of World Records, though?
Oh,
Already?
Jesus.
For what?
Yeah, because they had the most people simultaneously playing air guitar.
Oh, no.
I think that deserves a slow clap.
Oh. Yeah. That's a good one.
Great.
When they were doing promotions for the video, they sent out a press release and they gathered about 186 people. They did like a live stream with them all. They recorded it, had them all do like air guitar solo kind of thing.
Oh,
God.
And that put them in the Guinness Book of World Records apparently. So that's their one Oscar type thing, I guess. I don't know.
I should be in the Guinness Book of World Records for caring the least about Bill and Ted's Face the Music. Just saying.
So then, what was it about the movie that you hate so much?
I am Dennis Caleb McCoy.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. The robot actually did have me laugh. Like, I went, once.
Like some air briefly.
The very...
escaped
the
your
first time he shoots somebody, and you can tell that he's like, oh, shit.
Oops.
That's what my arm does? Like, oh my God. That first face, I was like, okay, haha. From then on, annoying is just the most annoying.
That he kept making that
God.
mistake over and over again.
Yeah, I was like, ugh. Kristen Schaal, whatever
Schaal,
her name is, the ugly Maggie Gyllenhaal. Yeah. She's annoying as fuck in the whole movie to me.
She herself is actually kind of like a funny actress.
No doubt, yeah.
She just didn't have anything to do in this.
Absolutely.
Kristen
No,
Schaal.
I'm not crapping on her as a person or even as a comedian. I'm sure she's funny in her own right. But in this movie, I would rather draw my eye sockets out.
She just didn't have good material to work with.
Explain to me what happened to Keanu Reeves. Between John Wick's 1, 2, and 3 and Bill and Ted's Face the Music, he aged 75 years.
Yeah.
What happened to Keanu Reeves?
Yeah,
watching him run run in this movie, I'm like, what? Did he not run in John Wick ever?
You know what? It's acting,
He walked
right?
a lot.
No,
I mean,
dude.
you know a thing called acting. It's called acting.
He's really trying to move though, and it's sad.
I don't
I think he's trying to
I think he's acting.
bring
like-
that character
like,
back out.
yeah.
Oh, really?
He's
Yeah.
bringing the
And
whole
that's-
surfer dude back.
And honestly,
into
that's
it.
why, that's
God.
one of the things I wanted to compliment about the film is that they didn't go. They didn't stray too far from the characters themselves. Like they
Okay.
were still stupid. They were stupid back then, and at the end
Yes.
of 2,
Two.
right? And they're still stupid.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yes. One thing I didn't like though about that is that their daughters were female, quote unquote, versions of them.
See, I like
Yes.
that. I like that though.
See, I didn't because I was like, I wanted to, I'd be fine if they were both like a little bit Bill and Ted. That'd be fine. But they
were like spitting images. Of
yeah,
Bill
they were so Bill and Ted that I'm like, so what was the point?
I found that very cringy.
Yes.
So do I, because to me it was a woke version of Bill and Ted. I'm like, I don't want a woke version of Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted are fucking idiots.
You know what's funny?
They were already woke enough. Men are dumb. Good job, you won in the '80s.
You know what's funny about that comment about them having daughters? In the original script,
they didn't. Right?
They were boys. They had boys, and they felt the two writers felt that when they wrote it's been the same writers for the whole 3 movies, by the way.
Okay.
So
wait, 3?
Yeah, this is the third.
This is the third one. 2, they went to hell. It was Bogus Journey.
Yeah, that was in 1991, I think.
You missed the whole hell.
Did you miss that one?
The Grim Reaper just shows up in this one. You don't question it, huh?
No,
okay.
well, no, I did question it because I'm like, well, okay, where did death come from?
Yeah, and then Kid Cudi being like, "Station." That made no sense to you whatsoever.
Nope.
Yeah. He was a favorite character, I guess, of kind of like of the second one.
Well, he's the other main character.
Wow, I thought this was the second movie.
Nope.
Yeah. But anyway, so the writers, they said that they were young when they made the first one. They wrote it when they were like in their adolescence, is what the phrase that they used. So they wrote, adolescent boy stuff, and they said when they were writing this, they originally had them be boys because they said, oh, we've been writing guy characters, that'd be easy. Yep. And they said when they got through the script, they said it just seemed stale. It just seemed like they were just replicas of their fathers. And I was sitting here thinking as I was watching this interview, I go, wait a minute, that's what the daughters are, though.
Yeah, they're the exact same person.
Yeah,
I don't. John disagrees. I'd like to hear why.
He's like, it didn't work because we wanted them to be their own characters and stuff like that. I'm like, but they're not.
Yeah, you failed on that. Yeah, John, why do you not mind it?
They weren't their Yeah, you're right. They were not their own characters. They were, I think, in some ways they were smarter than Bill and Ted, just a little bit.
Okay,
just a little bit.
I'm breaking out the Mensa test, but sure, go ahead. Yeah,
I mean,
they definitely knew their music.
They definitely knew their music. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
They knew their artists and stuff like that. Was I mean,
they didn't have a Socrates character.
That's true.
But no, I mean, I liked not necessarily their portrayal of like spinning images of their dads, but I liked their acting, the actress's acting.
Well, I will say
the actress that played what's her last name? Lundy Page. What's her last name?
Yeah, both of these actresses are very pretty.
What's her name?
Bridget Lundy
Payne. Yeah, she played Billy. She played Ted's daughter.
Right.
She was awesome. I think she was my favorite character in the whole film.
I will say this: both of those characters are very, very pretty girls, very, very pretty women, right?
Okay.
And they pulled off being not pretty, very stupid, non-binary characters.
They did it well.
Yes.
Well, wait a minute.
What?
Didn't at the end of the second one, didn't they have boys?
They definitely had babies. I don't know if
they were boys, weren't they?
I don't know. I don't know if we can tell because they're wearing them in like backpacks.
I'm out of this conversation because
I don't remember.
Kyle didn't even know there were children.
I didn't
now
even
this
know
movie
there
doesn't
was.
Make sense.
I'm looking it up. Hold on.
I didn't even know there was a second movie.
Let me see here.
Which is pretty despicable because I thought there was just Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure,
Right.
which is the first one,
Right.
and I thought there was this one.
No, then there was Bogus Journey.
I had
in
no
1991.
Nope.
So I'm going through all these photos, and you have no idea what.
Nope.
There's nothing.
I see when death arrived in this movie, I'm thinking, who the hell is he?
He's
Literally,
deaf.
who is hell? Who is he? Hell? Is he? Okay. Oh, he's death. He's got the whatever they call the sickle.
The scythe.
The
Yeah.
scythe?
Yeah.
Not the sickle. That's Russian.
Sling blade. Some folks call it a Kaiser blade. I call
the
it a
hammer
sling
and the
blade.
sickle.
So here's the thing, Justin. You're right. They did have 2 boys at the end. Now, these websites that I'm looking up are just like, well, they refer to them as Little Bill and Little Ted, but that's just their nicknames, Billy and Thea. No.
I could have swore it was boys.
Well, they don't. They were babies.
Yeah,
you couldn't tell. They refer to them as Little Bill and Little Ted, but yeah. I'm with you. I'm calling shenanigans.
Yeah.
This
whole universe is screwed now.
Yeah, right.
That's what screws
Makes
us
no
up.
sense at all.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm one of the things that I want to be nitpicky about here, the whole marriage falling apart thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me in the Bill and Ted world because those two ladies were actually princesses in the 13th century that they brought back.
Yes.
So they know that Bill and Ted are
Idiots.
well. They know A, they know they're idiots, but B, they know that they're supposed to do this song and all that stuff, and that's their life mission, and they're upset about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Which for me, I'm assuming that in the second movie that they actually went back and grabbed these women.
They grabbed them in the first movie.
Yeah, the first movie.
Did they?
They're in
Okay.
all three.
Yeah, they're in all three.
Okay.
At the end of the first movie,
I briefly remember them.
George
actually,
Carlin gives guitars and the princesses.
Yes. Okay. I briefly remember that, but
Technically speaking, they were slaves. They
but
were
I was
given.
I was
It's kinda
second
sick.
I was second guessing myself. I'm thinking, okay, was this actually the second movie? Did I actually watch the second movie?
Right,
Oh my
yeah, yeah.
God.
Or did I actually watch the first movie and they were given to them then?
Yeah, they got him in the first one, and not the actresses have been different in every
movie.
Every movie,
Yeah.
Okay.
and they haven't aged. If you think about the character,
They aged in this one, but not as much as Bill
Not
and
as
Ted
much as
seem
Bill
to.
and Ted.
Not
Yeah.
as much as Misty did.
No.
oh yeah,
So the Misty thing.
She's a damn whore.
Well, that, okay.
I know this is supposed to be family friendly and all,
Jesus.
but I mean, she in the movie
Who's Misty?
she's passed around from
the woman getting married
Ted's
at the
dad
beginning.
Yes.
to
Bill's dad
yeah.
to Bill's
brother.
brother.
Yeah. So that was actually
What
my.
in the world?
So that was my favorite part of this whole movie was them on stage. It's in the first 5 minutes. It's them on stage explaining the Misty timeline, and they're like, first we both asked her out to prom. Then she married my dad. Then she divorced his dad to marry my dad. Then she married my brother, effectively making my dad his own son and
Yeah.
my brother his own father. And I'm like.
Which is played by
And I'm my own grandpa. I'm like, that's the best part of this whole fucking movie.
which
It could
is
have ended
which is
right
played
there.
by SNL Beck Bennett,
yeah.
Yeah.
which he is a pretty funny actor. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I
but
think he's funny.
But at that point, literally, credits could have rolled, and I'd have been like, okay, it's pretty funny. Pretty funny movie. I would get 3.
it's a great short film.
Yes, it is.
So one
I
thing
really liked his theremin playing though.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
I didn't see that coming, and I'm like, what the hell?
No, so the
He's playing
theremin
a
playing was
theremin.
fine. The kids, his daughters reacting to it, again, was cringeworthy. Watching them be like, you know,
Yeah,
do
that
this
was
shit.
odd,
I was like,
yeah.
ugh.
Oh,
This is
however,
awful.
though, Alex Winter, Bill,
Yeah.
his
His actual daughter wrote the
his
song.
throat wobbling is on point. Yeah, that thing is awesome.
Did he actually do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you ever
Oh,
get a
wow.
chance, there's a band called the Who. It's the Who or something like that. They are a Mongolian band.
The Mongolian throat
they do-
wobblers, they're so awesome.
but they're like a rock band that does it. It's
Yeah.
pretty. It's actually pretty good.
There's also
not
a,
the actual The Who.
No, it's
No,
the
no.
Who. HU.
Oh.
They're among singers.
okay.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
gotcha.
great.
There's
yeah.
also like a rap group that
That
is
does
actually
it?
pretty awesome.
Oh my God.
This is where Bill and Ted Face the Music has taken us. By the
Well,
way,
we are definitely facing the music.
There's
for
actually
sure.
another completely different part of the world. They're Viking singers. They're called Schaal, and they do throat singing, and it's rock music again.
Oh,
but
I've heard of them.
They're pretty good as well. So
Yeah.
back to this shitty movie. I told you guys George Carlin would be in it for like 2 seconds as a damn. I don't know what you would call that. It was a
Hologram.
hologram, but not really.
Yeah.
My thing about that bothers me is they have the technology to put a younger version of your face on your body, and they could do that with Tron Legacy in an awful attempt to remake Jeff Bridges when Jeff Bridges is still alive. Why couldn't we get an attempt at that with George Carlin as a hologram?
I don't know. I thought it was pretty appropriate.
To just have him in there briefly?
I
or
thought
to-
it was fine. Yeah.
Well,
see, I
it
didn't
was
like
it was
it.
almost
Yeah, I
like a
agree.
museum piece.
Yes. Exactly.
See, okay. I'm going to go a little...
That's what I took it as.
Yeah.
I'm going to go slightly political, though, with this, okay? I looked at it as everything male from the Bill and Ted universe was being replaced with female. Like, in the original grouping of, I don't know what you want to call them, the presidents or whatever the hell they are, the council.
Yeah.
There's, like, the black guy with the glasses is the lead, right? Bogus Journey, he's still the lead. You come now, it's all women. It's women all the way until you get to the outside. Last 2 people on the council are men, or some version.
No, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, the Rufus character has been replaced with his daughter, right? The main council person who's pissed off the whole time is the matriarch. It just bothers me a little bit because it's like, okay, I get it, 2021, y'all. I understand, woke universe, but you replace Rufus with Kristen Schaal. You replace the lead council member with a woman. Then you have the 2 daughters replacing their fathers. Not even not even hidden. I mean, full on replacing their daughters. Mm-hmm. The main drivers of this entire ship are actually the princesses. The princesses are really the ones who make a lot of this stuff happen because the guys are chasing the princesses at one point, which actually allows everything to come together. It's a little bit, I don't know, it's too on the nose for me. Again, it's like the remake of the Ghostbusters thing. Mm-hmm. Like, but why? What are you trying to prove? Like, I'm all for equality, but what are you trying to prove?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I thought before I saw this, you said that, he's in it for like a couple seconds. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, that's good. I am perfectly fine with that because I'm a huge George Carlin fan. So, yeah. And I'm glad that they didn't do some kind of over-the-top kind of tribute to him.
Okay.
I thought it was just perfect.
I could see it from that angle, too.
The right amount of time. Mm-hmm. They didn't make a big deal out of it. Now, I did learn that the reason that Kelly, his daughter in the movie,
yes,
is named Kelly is because that was actually George Carlin's real daughter's name.
Oh, that's
Kelly.
Nice. Yeah.
So they named her Kelly.
So I think the documentary about the making of this movie is more interesting than the movie itself so far. Go ahead, though.
Yeah.
To talk
you mean
about
the Screenwrite episode?
Yeah, or that, yeah.
To talk about your wokeness of the movies, or your view of the wokeness. Looking at the top cast on the IMDb page, 10 are male, 8 are female.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that just means that IMDb is sexist.
Oh, jeez.
See, I can spin this any way you want.
That's very true.
Speaking of...
I failed.
The documentary being better, I got one more that's kind of interesting. Your favorite actress in this was... what's her name again?
Bridget Lundy-Payne.
Yeah. So
who's very pretty. I do want to say she's a very pretty girl.
Yeah, that was the brunette chick, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Samara Weaving is prettier, I thought.
No, I'm not saying she's not, but
which is Thea.
Considering how ugly they made the brunette woman, let's be respectful. The Samara one I thought was still somewhat pretty. Like they didn't ugly her up as much. She reminded me
of like a younger Margot Robbie.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. I agree with you.
Like I literally thought it was Margot Robbie for a little bit, like just a split second, and I'm like, no, this is a younger version of her.
Yeah,
and she's clothed.
Oh. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. No, but Weaving. You're right. But Weaving. I mean, if that name sounds familiar, Hugo Weaving. That's. I think it's his daughter. I had to look it up. It's either his daughter or his
wife.
niece.
No, it's his wife.
Niece.
No.
Yeah, he's into younger girls.
No, it's. I think it's like his daughter. but that's why she was cast because Keanu Reeves. Agent Smith, Matrix, friends with Hugo Weaving.
Yep.
She tried out for it.
And somehow she got it.
She does. Now that you say that, she does look exactly like him.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
God, now I'm going to have a little Hugo Weaving crush.
Now it's a little weird.
So how the hell does Kid Cudi or King Cudi or whatever his name is end up in this?
So the only thing that I can find out is, so in the second one, there were these two alien gremlin.
Yeah, the station. Yeah,
it was two aliens.
It was awful. Was called it was stupid as shit. But they yelled station every time.
Yeah.
Oh, what's
you got a
niece.
Niece. Okay, it was niece. Okay. But so I'm saying this for Kyle since you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
There were these two little naked gremlin alien things.
Yep.
They were called Station, and they were the drummer of the band.
So they were the drummer eventually, but they actually they were two gremlins, and then they were able to like mold
merge together to make
one big one, which was Station. It was actually like a Golgothan shit monster is what it looks like. Yeah.
Well, John just brought up an image of one of them.
Yeah.
Station.
So the theory is
there they are merged.
Yep. I got it.
So the theory is that Kid Cudi, I know this.
Kid Cut Me?
Kid Cudi is the reincarnation of Station.
So not the reincarnation, he's the precursor to Station.
Yes.
Which makes no fucking sense whatsoever because those things were actually aliens and they even said in heaven that they were aliens. But whatever. Then on top of that, him being like, Station! Just randomly. I was like, stupid! Fucking dumbass writing! Lazy! Like,
who
good
says
lord.
Kid
Cudi does. Not to mention, who the fuck is Kid Cudi?
Towards the very end when he's saying bye to them, he goes, he's Station just randomly.
Yeah. I've never heard of this guy, though. Never heard of him at all.
Some rapper.
Yeah, some rapper. Some guy who was probably popular in 2020 probably isn't even popular now.
The
and
guy
now
that
you still have to suffer through it.
The guy that had all the knowledge of
the theoretical
space and time.
physicist is
the rapper.
He's some rapper.
Yeah. I totally did not catch anything that he said at all.
It's I don't think you're meant supposed to.
It's just like, okay, so why does this guy have all the knowledge of the universe?
Well, that's why the theory is that he is the forefather or becomes station. He becomes these aliens.
Yeah, it's almost like
they're the ones who know all the theoretical stuff with time travel.
It's almost like there's a show called Doctor Who, and in it there's a character named Captain Jack Harkness who we meet whenever he's like a young man.
Sure.
And in the same show, eventually you meet a character called the Face of Bo. Okay. Right. Well, the Face of Bo is 4,000 years after he's Captain Jack Harkness. The same person, the same character molds and becomes etc. The Face of Bo.
Gotcha.
Eventually, but so it's the same idea here with Kid Cudi apparently becoming Station. What bothers me about this was you have Jimi Hendrix, who I did not mind, the character who played Jimi Hendrix. I was like, mind him. Good try.
Yeah.
Louis Armstrong, who bothered the shit out of me.
Hated it.
God, I hated him.
Hated his impersonation.
He was pretty cringeworthy.
It was awful, right? You had, I think, Beethoven or Mozart, one of those two. Then you had some random Chinese flautist who maybe is amazing. I don't know her, right? Then apparently we have a caveman before written history. Right?
Who was the most amazing drummer ever.
Apparently. Which was the dumbest shit ever. Before there was written history, somehow there's this caveman. And the daughters know about him somehow.
Right. Yeah.
Stupidity. Anyway, and then you have Kid Cudi. And I'm like, what? Go ahead, John.
Well, just
maybe.
Smoking the reefer. That's how they knew about him.
And that's the only way you can enjoy this movie, is if you are completely smashed out of your mind. I challenge you, Justin, to go back and drink an entire case of whatever have you.
I'm down.
And then watch it.
Okay.
You'll probably come back and tell us it's an 8.
You down?
It's an 8 movie.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down with watching it again with Blitz out on my mind.
That's the only way you can enjoy this film.
That sounds pretty
sorry.
fun.
I don't even say film, video.
Yeah.
Straight to video film.
Honestly, I don't think I would ever want to watch this Blitz out of my mind.
I had to watch this fucking thing twice because I watched it once with my children and then went never again. And then Justin, a week ago, decided to pick the shit for the comedy. I almost stabbed you. You were this close.
You know,
as close as they came to losing the universe, that's how close you came to getting stabbed.
I think I think I agree with you. Yeah, the Jimi Hendrix, the guy who portrayed him, I felt was pretty good. Could not stand
Louis Armstrong.
God, he was awful. Impersonation.
But what about Dave Grohl?
Dave Grohl, I liked. I liked his little cameo.
When was he in it?
He's on screen for like 3 seconds.
It was his mansion.
It was his mansion that.
That's right. They broke into his mansion or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like,
and they all started speaking British accents. Now that part I thought was probably the funniest. They knew that they were going to be visited by their past selves, and so they're like, okay, well, let's just break into this mansion and actually play the successful versions of ourselves.
Well, that's like them in jail for the 2 seconds. When they were in jail, I was like,
that was pretty funny because they're all jacked.
Yeah, but it's
like, you know, a lot of these comedic pieces were very, I don't know, they were very lackluster. They were slapstick in a way.
It was exactly
almost beyond, like,
farcical,
below slapstick.
Slapstick is hilarious.
Yeah, slapstick is hilarious. You got fart jokes. I'm the king of fart jokes.
Well, no. So here's the thing.
This stuff was just.
It was farcical.
Bad.
It was a farce of Bill and Ted of itself. And
yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck are they doing?
It's like they were trying to make fun of themselves.
Well, the problem is that what they wrote was really funny in 87 or 86, right? Was okay
89.
in 89. Was okay in 91. Not funny in 2021. It's just not even good. Yeah. Even my kids, right, who are granted too young to see Face the Music in a lot of ways, but even they were completely bored. Just batshit bored, just completely bored. Like, had no interest whatsoever in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, great. So I'm not alone in this. More than one generation hates this movie too.
You don't have to go back in time for that.
God, yeah. And what's horrible? It makes me appreciate the first movie. What are we talking about? I have to look at Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and go, it's actually kind of a cinematic masterpiece compared to its fucking trilogy. Like, good lord.
I mean, I thought Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was where it needed to stop.
Apparently you thought it stopped there.
You were wrong, sir.
I did. I thought it stopped there.
Yeah, go ahead, John. Sorry.
I agree with you on that. I don't think there needed to be a second one or a third one.
Jesus.
But I mean, I do think that this third film, I mean, based on the quote unquote quality of the first two films,
Okay.
this was a decent way to wrap it up.
Oh God.
I mean, well, yeah, because I mean, think they're not cinematic gold.
No, they're not.
They're not cinematic gold at all.
You're not. You're
this
right.
is just this. If Bill and Ted were made today, this is what it would look like. It would be a cleaner version.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. It would be a Bill and Ted in HD.
But hold on. But so to put this in perspective, John, this is, and I brought up Ghostbusters earlier. This is a great example of
I know.
why they should leave those movies alone.
You're right.
If they made Three Amigos 2 today, you'd lose your goddamn mind.
Are you gonna?
No.
Are you gonna bring up Afterlife?
Yes. This one.
Damn right, darn right you are.
What, the Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you make a goddamn point?
No.
I'm excited for Afterlife.
Yeah, Ghostbusters
Afterlife?
It
Yeah,
looks
okay,
really
it
good.
looks
That's
amazing.
fine. No, but hold on.
Because they don't use the same actors.
And that's
Bingo.
fine. Okay, fine.
And they're not trying to rehash the whole.
Exactly.
Oh, we're gonna be a new team. Like,
Yes.
No, you're not, because you suck.
And that's fine. But
Yeah.
my point is, going back to Three Amigos, right? If they made a Three Amigos 2 today.
with their children
So
trying to go to some Mexican town and get rid of the banditos.
Sure. Same thing. Same idea.
It would just
That would be terrible.
It would be terrible. And even if they had the same three actors, and all it would be old jokes, they wouldn't be able to like jump up on the back of their horse anymore. They'd go and they'd break a hip.
Yep.
Ned Needlander wouldn't be the fastest gun in the West anymore.
He'd be like, oh, my hands.
He would be the second
Osteoporosis.
fastest.
Yeah, you would have a challenger, a young upstart challenger.
Yep. Well, his
See, look,
kid-
we're writing this.
His kid would,
An Instagram
and it sounds
influencer.
awful.
It does sound awful.
It sounds awful. They would go to Cancun. They wouldn't even. That's the thing.
Oh, Kyle, you're right. He would just be famous on Instagram or something.
God.
Like,
Twitter me. Twitter me.
So we're clear. You two old fucks are already behind the times. They'd be TikTokers.
Yeah, they would
That's
be
what they would be.
TikTokers.
Oh, man.
And I'm even behind the times because there's already something new out. Anyway,
TikToker.
I just wish.
All this talk is just making my pirate western sound a
man.
lot better.
See? Yeah. That's
Again,
it.
I just wish if they were going to do a third one, I just wish that they had kind of stayed a little closer to the formula without like bastardizing it in the weirdest way possible. You know what I mean? Like the way they bastardized it, to me anyway, it just brought it down. Everything they tried to do was worse.
I almost wish they did a passing the torch thing, to where they were just there at the beginning and ended up the girls having to go off and do it.
Well, you see,
don't know.
like
I
towards
think
the,
it would have been better.
towards
It would
the-
have
it
been
might
more-
have been.
Maybe if they just died,
well, you know,
Wow.
just in general.
Well,
just
okay,
across the
so
board.
when
Ted.
when I actually was watching this movie, I was thinking, okay, so when Bill and Ted actually went back in time, and the girls were like, "Oh, we need to do something about this," I was thinking, okay, well, this is kind of cool because the kids are actually the ones that are going to make the song that brings all the world together, which actually did happen, I guess.
Yeah, they did
somewhat.
They
at
were
the
Logan
end.
and Preston. It wasn't even Bill and Ted. So
Right.
Rufus was so fucking wrong. It's not even funny.
You're
Two
right,
whole movies
actually.
for how wrong he was. Go ahead. Sorry.
So Bill and Ted actually didn't bring together everything.
Technically,
but
they
No,
did.
no,
They had
they
to have
did.
the kids.
there were some sperm. They were the sperm donors.
they brought the music together.
Yeah.
Well, they told the kids, "Hey, it's not us, it's you. You go do it." So technically,
But they still,
butterfly effect.
I guess, gave instruments to.
The
That
butterfly-
That I have no
I had
idea.
no idea
what-
why there was. Okay, so the premise of this movie was supposed to be there was one song that was supposed to bring the whole world together.
yeah.
Yes.
It was actually just a chorus, a really shitty chorus.
But why did they have to go back in all of these different times and parallels to give people instruments at random?
so they can all play it together.
Do you want to know my theory?
Yes, let's
Go
go.
for it.
All right, my first starting out. Okay, Rufus was right, but he meddled with it. Okay, Rufus meddled, and you we've all learned from Back to the Future you don't meddle with the past.
Now, you especially don't talk to your own people or your own self.
Exactly. So Rufus messed with that twice and screwed it up. So it was originally supposed to be Bill and Ted doing this thing, but because they knew about it, they were trying to do it, and they couldn't. They could never succeed.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
So that formed this rift in the time-space continuum,
Sure.
Right? And so it was
All right, Kid Cudi.
so Doc Brown. I prefer Doc Brown.
It's funny, you look more like Station. Go ahead. Sorry.
+1, Eddie.
Thank you. Hey.
Wow.
It's been a good couple of weeks for me.
Wow.
Damn,
Holy
got
crap.
a +1 from Justin. Jesus.
Okay, so now that I look like Station, but all right. So Rufus messed it all up, so
Yes.
it had to ended up causing a problem in the time-space continuum.
Mm-hmm.
So what was happening in this movie, was that all those were getting mixed up. All the time and the future and the past were getting mixed up, and the stuff in the past was coming to the present, and the present was going to the past, and all that stuff. So now this song ended up having to be played by every timeline
Okay, I see what you're saying.
in
Gotcha.
order to bring everything back together
So here's the thing.
and to repair what Rufus screwed up.
So here's the thing. John's right. But there's a problem. Nice try to mansplain. Credit where credit's due.
Mansplain.
Credit where credit's due. But there's a problem. It doesn't make any sense. Because here's the thing. In the first movie, even though George Carlin's like, don't forget, you can't screw things up, etc., etc., they weren't able to ever screw things up, right? No matter what they did, everything that they did was always going to happen, right? They screwed up. They forgot to go to advance their number up one number or some shit like that in order to make it back. Well, they did that the first time. That's
Right.
why whenever they're first standing in the parking lot, they see themselves in the first movie. Whenever they get to the end of the second movie and they're going to fight the general and all that shit, there's the whole scene where they're like, wait, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and that gun that he's about to use, you know what? It's a fake gun. And they change the gun, and then suddenly he shoots the gun, and a fucking bam comes out of the end of the gun instead of an actual bullet. Because everything that they do, they're always able to do, and everything is always coming together.
But then
they
they tried to fake everything and be like put buckets on themselves and be like, you can't tell what I do.
No, that's a different thing. But hold on. One last thing here. So in the beginning of this movie, they have not been time traveling at all. As far as we can tell, nobody's time traveling. Space and time is just suddenly tearing itself to pieces. What was the reason why it was tearing itself to pieces?
I explained that.
What was the reason? Mansplain. Go ahead.
Okay, so Rufus, by originally saying, "Okay, we can't break you guys up," and explaining their future to them, screwed this up. Said, "Okay, you guys can't be in the first film.
Yeah,
you can't be separated. Ted can't go to military school because you can't be separated because you got to be together so you can write the song that'll join the."
So you're saying knowing the future screwed it up?
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, remember Doc Brown?
Maybe. Yeah.
Everything we need to know about time travel is in Back to the Future.
Don't compare a shitty time travel movie to a really good time travel movie. Okay?
Well, and in this one, I think that where the climax hit was when.
Let's not have this argument again.
Sorry, no. When Ted was like, this pawn shop offered me $6,500 for my guitar, and then all of a sudden they were like, oh, well, that sucks because the band was literally about to break up. Like they were officially calling it quits.
So that was a conflict in this line.
But that's when the actual ship came down.
No,
and
the climax. The climax of this movie is the most obvious climax of any movie we've ever watched. It's them all playing their music together with the whole universe.
That's
and
the
world.
resolution.
No, the climax is the very tip at the top of the movie. It gets to where it's going, and then everything's downhill from the climax.
Yeah, the resolution for this movie is almost non-existent.
Is the song?
Yeah, well, if you want to, okay. Then it's the climax of it is them realizing that it's Preston, Logan, it's the girls.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the only other explanation of where the climax
is. But anyway.
Yeah, I know. It's like I said, let's not argue about this.
Fine.
I love you for who you are.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sorry. This movie made me come to terms with my feelings on a lot of things.
Yeah, because you know music, I guess.
I know what?
You know music?
I do not well enough to bring together space and time. Apparently, no.
You don't know. You haven't written the song.
Oh, God. I hate this fucking shit. Anyway, go ahead.
I do have one other little tidbit of information, though.
Oh, tidbits?
A little tidbit.
Yeah.
Not Ted bits.
No, tidbit. Yeah.
Negative one.
Some Ted bills.
The actor who played Mozart.
Yes.
His name is Daniel Dorr. Not sure what else he's done, but apparently he improvised everything, like all of his lines. I mean, he has a grand total of like 3 lines in the movie, but
it's amazing.
And are they all in French?
No.
German?
No, they're German.
German? I'm sorry, not French. German.
Yeah.
Mozart.
It's a
Mozart's
foreign
German.
language.
Yeah.
Agreed, but Mozart's German.
But the first thing that he says,
Climax is in the beginning of the film.
No,
Okay,
it's not.
go ahead.
the first thing that he says when he's on screen,
Yes.
I kind of laughed at, and I don't understand. I don't know if he just didn't know German and this is what he said, or if he meant to say this, right? But he said, "West ist dort die glist Sau," which, when you translate that, says, "Who is the hottest pig here?"
Jesus.
Who is the hottest pig?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Nice.
just thought that was interesting.
Oh.
That was funnier than the movie. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Like I said, the documentary of this
let's-
movie is better.
Let's talk about the ending concert piece.
Do you
Okay.
need to?
I don't need to.
on the bridge.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It
Product
was-
placement.
I just don't. I can't explain how much I hated the end of this movie and how quickly it wraps up.
What's an hour and 36 minutes?
Hour 31.
Hour
Yeah.
31. Yeah. They had no time to spare for anything.
No, it was a very short movie for being like a live action. I mean, I understand like most comedies are typically around 90 minutes just
Yeah.
because that's how far you can stretch something. But yeah, the ending, I totally agree with you. The ending was very, very rushed.
Yeah. It was just all bad, just all around. I don't really know much to say about it. In fact, we'll just stop talking about it, and we'll figure out what the Rotten Tomatoes.
Well,
or what
actually,
the-
with this bridge scene, I was thinking, well, how much did this actually cost?
Oh, God.
So this actually cost $25 million.
yeah, they recreated
to
that
make-
entire bridge scene.
to make this movie. $25 million.
All Keanu salary, right? Everybody else worked for
So,
free?
do you guys think that it made its money back?
God, no.
Yes.
You think it
You
did?
think so?
I think it. I
oh,
think,
you know-
absolutely think it did.
I think it did.
It
too.
probably did.
I think it did, and I think it's going to keep going.
Okay, so the gross worldwide is actually $6.2 million.
Jesus.
It did not make its money back.
That's still too much.
Yet,
yeah, if you give it 3,000 years.
The opening weekend, apparently in the U.S., Canada, and Canada, they're not just wrapping U.S. into this. We're wrapping in Canada into this. It released on August 30th, 2020. It racked in at $1.1 million.
Wow. So you said the total was 6.4?
6.2.
6.2.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
In less than a year.
You know,
Yeah, sure.
So, I mean, it's not, it's been, what, 6 months? 7,
But
eight
yeah,
months?
I mean, the gross
you think
USS
the people are still riding the Bill and Ted wave?
No, I don't think, no, honestly, I think it was about 10 years too late
Yes.
on
yeah.
on the remake, because they're banking, I mean, this was our childhood.
Yeah, it should have
You
been
know?
remade in 2001.
Yeah.
I'm one to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we also wouldn't have the shit that I don't like, all the woke shit in it
Yeah.
in 2001. And I think the stupidity would have gone over a little better. Like now, I mean, I'm sorry, but after Tenet, I just feel like it's a time travel movie that doesn't make any fucking sense. You know what I mean? I'm like, you
Yeah.
got to have some kind of. There's too many movies being made now, guys. Interstellar, Tenet, etc., where people are like all Christopher Nolan films.
Right.
Well, and movies now aren't this movie to me seemed like a collection of scenes.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we're going to do this funny thing where we're in prison. We're going to do this funny thing where we're in the nursing home.
And it's just
the
the writer. It's just the writers going, how do we get our characters from A to B to
Yeah.
C?
And it's SNL,
Right.
and SNL isn't funny either.
Yeah.
So here we are.
So apparently, according to IMDb, it actually was all filmed in Louisiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's where Dave Grohl's mansion is.
Oh,
Is 18447 Three Rivers Road, Covington, Louisiana.
Creepy.
Yeah. How
What?
do you? Yeah.
I don't know. That's on IMDb. So it's just public record. There it is. That's where Dave Grohl's mansion is.
So I didn't like one last thing, by the way, about things I wasn't fond of was the product placement in the movie. Like whenever they go to get the instruments on the thing, it's like it's a giant Guitar Center truck. I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
that's
we
right.
get it. Guitar Center sponsored the movie. Was the truck with a giant logo on the side necessary?
That's how we get all the instruments, bruh.
Was it Coke or Pep? One of the there was a Coke commercial at one point in the middle of it. I don't know. There's just certain things, and I'm like, you're kind of pushing. You're pushing my willingness to deal with this shit.
I mean, I did see in the overpass or bridge scene, whatever you want to call it, there's a Circle K gas station.
Yeah.
But that is if I remember right, that's in all the movies. Like that's a spot where they land in multiple.
Yeah, they land
or
at the
something.
Circle
They
K.
land at the Circle K.
Well,
So it's
strange
like
things are afoot at the Circle K.
Well, isn't that where they met Rufus for the first time?
I think
It's
so.
outside of a Circle K.
Strange
think
things
so.
are afoot at the Circle K. That's a fucking line, guy.
Yeah.
I know.
Rufus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, 69. Dude. Oh, that was another thing, by the way.
yeah.
They totally could have used the 69
No, they
joke
did.
again, but they didn't laugh at their own joke.
Oh, I know.
I was like, it's obvious. They said it and
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, it was when they were dialing. There's an ongoing joke about 69.
Right.
When they're dialing Infinity, when they look up the phone number, Keanu's like, "What's the number? What's the number? 6, 9, whatever."
And then the rest of the joke. It could have been one of those moments, but instead I was like, what are they growing as people? Fuck this. Bill and Ted.
I
Good
want
Lord.
It's Always Sunny in this.
You know what?
That would have been funnier, by the way, if they'd gone that route. Go ahead.
I think that sound bite that you just said sums up the entire movie.
Did I?
What?
What was it?
Are they growing? Fuck this.
Yeah, they're
agree.
actually trying to become adults in this movie.
Are they though?
Yes,
Okay.
because
Yeah, I guess.
they're actually trying to fix relationships and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they do
But
that.
back then they were just like, 69, bruh, you know.
I mean, let's get real.
It's so
I
funny.
laugh at 69
Dude.
too.
Yeah,
so.
sure.
Not bruh, dude.
It is, dude. Dude.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes.
What's up, my dudes?
I can't believe this. I really can't
I
believe
know,
this.
Wait, can I guess?
And honestly, that's why I saw this, and that's why I thought it made its money back.
Oh,
Can I
if,
guess?
if you want to guess, go ahead and guess what the
I'm gonna-
audience rated.
I'm going to guess 85%.
68. 68.
Oh,
almost,
no!
almost
I
69.
was going to say
You know what?
69%.
That might be what they're aiming for.
It might be.
That might be what's happening.
all of humanity is trying to keep it around 69%.
Because otherwise this movie is awful in all ways.
it's almost like trying to get it at 420. And that's,
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
Critics
that-
gave it a 10, right?
That I can kind of see. Actually, I'm actually surprised it's a little bit that high. But what do you think that the critics gave it?
I'm going to say 85%.
It's 82.
82.
oh my God,
Yeah.
the critics?
Yeah.
Yep.
Money, please. Yeah, you buy those.
Wow.
You buy
The people
those
over
reviews.
the people over at Ebert gave it a 3 stars.
No.
Really?
Okay,
They sure did.
$5 though says that it has something to do with the wokeness of it.
Oh,
That's my
not
guess.
from not from what I read anyway.
Hold on. Oh, I gotta
3
find
stars out of 4?
Yeah.
Yep.
That is Wild Stallion nuts.
That's
So-
crazy.
out. Jesus.
I think we need to move on and just go ahead and start rate this
Sure, go for it,
this
man.
hot mess of a.
It's your pick.
Yeah. So I mean, man, I don't even know what to say about this. I was bored. I found it cringy. Some of the saving graces were the Jimi Hendrix character. Again, I like their Rufus homage that they did. I thought
Sure.
that was tasteful. I'm glad they didn't try to expand that into something really major. And then calling the person who replaces him Kelly, who I knew was his daughter's name, right? All that's all good. Hated. I can't stress enough how much I hated the Louis Armstrong impersonation.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Boggles my mind. Man, and I can't even say anything good about like the cinematography of it. To be honest, everything looks really washed out to me. It doesn't look like it had a lot of depth or anything. It looked like a nostalgia cash grab from a studio.
Yep.
Is what it looked like to me. So, based off of all that, I think I gave Devil's Reign like a. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna look that up real quick.
No, we don't compare it to movies.
No, I'm not. No, I already have a score in mind. It's just I
Okay.
want to see what we.
I think you gave it like a 3 something.
So it's definitely lower than what I gave
What? Okay, so
Devil's Reign.
Okay,
So
so
I
what do you
gave
give this
Devil's.
one?
Well,
What do you give
this
this one?
one, just because it has elements of a movie.
yes,
There are people in it.
yes.
And I do think Alex Winter really tried in this. The guy who plays Bill.
Yeah, because he has no career. Like,
Well,
Keanu
he's
Reeves
actually
walked away
been
with
been
it.
directing a lot of like documentaries and films and stuff. That's like been his career. He's been like doing a lot of behind the camera stuff. But man, and you were saying I keep going on and on about this movie.
You're good, yeah.
You keep saying about like how did Keanu age.
Yeah.
You know, like 20 years when it's only been like 3 years or whatever since John Wick. Man.
Are you giving him like acting chops for that, or are you just saying you saw
awful.
it, right? Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Okay, I'm 0.5.
Wow. That's bad.
Okay.
Damn.
Bad. That's the lowest score ever given so far.
So
Devil's Rain is better than a movie.
In Justin's mind.
In Justin's mind.
I'll tell you what. I had more fun watching Devil's Rain than I did this movie.
This is great.
Okay.
This is fantastic.
Eddie.
So here's the thing.
Here's one more thing. I gave Devil's Rain a 1.5.
Wow.
So
okay, fair enough. So I looked up the critics' reviews real fast, by the way, literally while you were talking, Justin, and almost everybody is like, you know, they basically gave them points for being stupid. That's basically what they're saying. Like, it's lovable, cheap and silly, yes. Loving and warm, definitely. Bonkers adventure, it works just fine. Excellent, no, but not bogus either. And that's everybody's review of this movie. That's giving them anything that seems like a positive review. The people who are giving negative reviews are actually watching the movie. Bill and Ted's Face the Music isn't a disaster, but there's nothing about it that justifies returning to the property after so many years. The dudes still love to party, but their excellence left them long ago. A gentleman who actually watched the film. Welcome. Anyhow, so for me, the worst part about it, like I said, was this idea that everything old has to be rehashed in this new, whatever you want to call it, light. Understand, I'm fine with changing. I'm fine with moving on. I'm fine with even updating. I just don't like the idea that we're doing that with material in a way that it seems like it doesn't quite bastardize and it doesn't quite vilify the other side, but at the same time, it seems like they had to pass the torch. You know what I mean? And that kind of bothers me. Like, they didn't do it because they died at the beginning, which I would have been fine with this movie at this point. But they did it because, 2021. That bothers me. Or 2025, I guess, actually. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
It just that bugs me. So, anyway. I don't have anything else to say about this movie, really. It sucked.
We kind of covered it.
Yeah. I've definitely seen better things in the toilet. For me,
wow.
What's funny is I'm actually going to give it a 0.7. I'm going to give it the Devil's Rain score.
Wait, you rated Devil's Rain 0.7?
0.7.
So you think the Devil's Rain matched this movie?
I mean, that is what you are saying.
You thought the Devil's Rain was exactly the same.
You know what? Hold on. I'm recanting.
Huh?
I am. I'm going 0.5.
There you go.
And here's why.
Boom.
But here's why. The Devil's Rain, from all accounts, right?
Yeah.
Was made by the Mafia. And I'm pretty sure that they at least knew on some level we're making a ridiculous film.
Sure.
Right?
It's probably used for money laundering.
On some level. Bill and Ted Face the Music, they're taking themselves serious. That's a serious film. They tried. That's where I have the problem. 0.5.
And from the guy who made Galaxy Quest.
Fuck me. 0.4.
Wow.
We're gonna go
what
with
is it?
0.5.
0.5. Yeah.
0.5 is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically where I am at with this movie is you're basically this is the bad things that happen with the community saying we should remake a film.
Yes.
This
is the version of mob justice of a film.
No, this is opening up a question or a contest of renaming a famous boat. And what do people pick? Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah, because that's hilarious.
Yes. And
Or
so
it was back in-
so the community thought that it would be a great idea to remake Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Well, they actually failed. And I totally did not know they made a second one. And I thought that this was the second one.
Which makes it that much funnier.
And I was watching this film and I'm thinking, who the hell is Death?
Why is Death
why
here?
why is Death in the film?
I bet your score would have been higher if you watched the second film.
William Sadler, by the way,
Yeah,
plays
William
Death.
Sadler.
Yes, I understand
Yeah.
this. Yeah, I knew who the guy is, but Wow, I totally did not. It was because I was trying to think. Okay, if I want to watch the original, but Eddie was like, no, don't even bother watching the original. And I remember most of it, and they were in high school.
Yeah,
they're basically writing a paper or
it was like a history report.
They had to give
it was a history report, and they brought back all these historical figures. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, where the hell is Death? Where the hell is Death? I had no idea. It's like, what is Wild Stallions? Like, what is going on?
Oh man.
So,
you didn't know who Wild Stallions were?
Well, I mean, now I do.
Well, they were Wild Stallions in the first one.
I understand that, yeah, but like
the band.
Yeah,
there was actually a big. All the newspapers were
like everything, like a big touring band of the Wild Stallions. So it's like, yeah, there were Wild Stallions in the garage, but
3 fans.
Yeah, they weren't the Wild Stallions in like epic arenas. So, God, I'm gonna give this a 1.5.
Okay,
so Kyle gives this
I'll give this at least a 1.5.
Didn't you give
You gave Devil's Reign a 3.2.
Hell yeah. That's way better than this film.
I wouldn't go that far, but okay.
Way better. It's got William Shatner in it.
Yes.
And Ernest Borgnine.
There you go.
Shit in the bed.
Tom Skerritt.
Yes.
I want to point out, shit in the bed. That's what they're doing in that movie. Okay, it's still not good, guys.
I think it's good.
All right, John.
All right.
Bring it home.
Is this movie a masterpiece? No.
No.
Is it a fun popcorn movie?
No.
Also no.
No.
Yeah, I was about to say, John, we may not be friends after this.
Also no.
Nope.
But it did stay true to the characters, and it didn't stray from the canon of Bill and Ted like the third Ghostbuster film.
Oh, that's true.
So
John's bringing back the canon.
I gotta give him some props there. Mm-hmm. I did kind of like the story of the kids being in it, kind of. And I do think it stayed too much on the broken marriages because that just didn't make sense. Visually, it was It was okay. Wasn't great. I hated the robot.
Yeah.
The robot just doesn't make sense to me. Plus, I'm over the whole time-traveling robot thing. I mean, it's been done.
Terminator. 1, 2,
Yeah.
4, 7,
4,
8, 9,
12, 69.
420.
Dude!
420, dude. I'm sorry, you throwing a 69. It's so dumb and yet so fitting. Go ahead.
Don't make me give this a 6.9.
No.
Jesus Christ. You probably should.
That would be great, though. A 4.20.
Oh, God.
And I do honestly think it was of the all 3 films, I think it's a decent wrap-up to an okay franchise.
What happens when we get Bill and Ted 4?
Oh, if we get Bill and Ted 4, it wouldn't be Bill and Ted. It would be Billy and Thea. Or whatever.
It'd be Preston Logan.
Oh, yeah, it might be Preston Logan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they're not even.
They might rehash it.
But they're not even named Preston and Logan.
That's
Yeah,
their
they
last
are.
name.
That's their last names.
Oh.
Theodore S. Preston Esquire.
Bill S. Preston.
Bill S. What is it?
Esquire.
Bill Preston Esquire.
Bill S. Preston Esquire. Esquire means the first.
Right, and then Theodore
Theodore Logan, which Ted is his first. Theodore's his first name.
Stupid, so
Ted is a goddamn nickname, but he calls himself Ted Theodore Logan. Anyway,
Anyway.
they're going to pull Hobbs Shaw from
I'll,
Fast and Furious.
I'll concede.
Go ahead.
I am also giving this a 1.5.
Hell yeah.
This is a 1.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I want to point out, I tried to fucking warn you. I tried so hard to tell you.
I'm glad we did it. I thought
am
this was
too.
a fun episode.
You know, honestly, I probably would have never watched this movie.
No,
I
if
wouldn't have
Justin
either.
hadn't have picked it.
I hated that I already watched it.
So, John, you gave Devil's Reign a 2.
So it's worse.
So we all agreed that this movie is worse than The Devil's Reign.
Objectively.
I would watch Devil's Reign again before
Sure.
I would watch Bill and Ted.
Oh, yeah, I would too.
Same.
I can't.
Even with your challenge being drunk.
I don't know.
I might actually stay awake during
Devil's
Reign.
Devil's Reign is so
well,
bad.
yeah,
though.
because you'd be on the toilet. So.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. I don't
So
wanna relive it.
so Bill and Ted Face the Music
It's a 1.
gets a flat out 1.
Dang.
Which
Worst movie.
Which is now our lowest rated movie.
Which, by the way,
I did this for you, Kyle.
I want to
Thanks.
point out is a Justin
bro.
movie, so Kyle can quit being a martyr.
No. If I'm picked next, I'm I got.
Oh, God.
Hold my beer.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
So to find out who picks next,
We're gonna spin.
we
the
need
wheel.
to spin the wheel.
All right. So just a reminder, it is me, Eddie, and Kyle
Right,
still
okay.
on the list. So here we go. And it's Kyle.
Devil's Rain Part 2.
I swear to God.
Okay.
So now we need to spin to see what genre he's going to be picking from.
All right.
Please.
And here we go.
That's a lot of genres.
I know. And you keep getting
Please
comedy.
don't be noir. No.
Sports film.
We already did
We
noir.
already had film or noir this year or this season.
Sports film.
Okay. All right. So I think I'm actually going to pick Miracle. It was in 2004. It's based on the true story of Herb Brooks, a player turned coach who led the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team in a victory over the seemingly invincible Soviet squad.
Gotcha.
So this is based on true events, and I think it's a fantastic movie.
Yep. So if you're wanting to follow along with us, you can catch Miracle on streaming on either Netflix or Disney Plus, or you can rent it or buy it on all the other major streaming platforms. So with that, and our new king of
Worst movies.
rated of Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yes.
We're out of here, I guess.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
See you next week.